So, Behavior Breakthrough is a book that I collaborated on. I will never say that I wrote it. I collaborated with a ghostwriter, and she just specializes in like totally immersing herself into somebody's personality and area of expertise and just putting it into writing. So, for anybody that's thinking about writing a book, you don't have to be able to do it. You just find the perfect person to collaborate with. But I think that it kind of morphed out of at the time that I started disseminating ABA was during COVID. I was a single mom at the time with a toddler at home. My um, toddler that I was a single mom to is neurodivergent, and I had access to no support. And those were some long days. It was challenging. And then I also couldn't provide direct support to my entire caseload that we had been separated from. And so I was trying to offer some virtual support, and it was just becoming really time consuming, and I was struggling to reach everybody. And so I just created a Facebook page and was like, to not just my caseload, but anybody that's struggling with behaviors during COVID. And it kind of just grew from there. And so it kind of just morphed from, hey, I want to show my daughter that anything is possible and you can create something good no matter the situation. But also, I'm so passionate about, the reputation that ABA has and the way that I've personally witnessed ABA be delivered is not all loving. And so I wanted to make waves in a system that can show that to me, ABA really is about love. I mean, I see everything in my life through an ABA lens, and it is loving in my life. And so to hear about other experiences that are so awful, I'm like, oh, that's so heartbreaking because this behavioral science really does drive me to be compassionate and loving solely by following the principles. And so it was kind of just the combination, I think, of both of those motivations.
I think that's huge because you brought something to people in times where that was a rough time. I remember, working with some of our clients. We were running sessions outdoors because families didn't want us indoors. We were, virtual, and you're trying to coach parents through things that you just wish you could be there because they're not able to handle whatever's going on, on the other side of that phone or that computer. So I think having those resources and bringing it back to those basics is was definitely a big help to the families that you were able to reach.
Is there any advice that you can offer BCBAs and RBTs providing ABA therapy in the realm of compassion? Like if you had to give like one thing to say, like this would just change the support that you provide from, 0 to 100, what would that be?
Oh, concise it into one thing. I don't know. I just think that,
That's fine, but I didn't want to overwhelm you. It sounds like I did the opposite.
no, but it's such a good question. I think that it's kind of twofold for me. Number one, I think that we just have to have realistic expectations for people. I've been a single mom and I promise you, I don't parent like a behavior analyst. And it's like my children's local schools. I hope they don't actually know what I do for a living, right? Like, so people need and deserve grace because sometimes, like the caregiver, mom, dad's mental health matters more than reinforcing an undesired behavior that we don't want to see again. And so I think just seeing the parent first and foremost as a human that also has needs within the family and the household structure. That I think changes don't toss over a complex behavior intervention. Don't overwhelm, don't expect a strict degree of fidelity. It's just not realistic. And then kind of segueing to what you said too, it's like about those foundations. I think to me, that's the whole goal of behavior breakthrough is I see in a lot of caregiver trainings and a lot of educator trainings that where we usually start with our training is let me tell you about behavioral function. Let me tell you what the function of this behavior is. Now here's our new intervention. And that's not sustainable if the educator and parent doesn't have the prerequisite skills to set up the environment to begin with to prevent behavior. So it's just not sustainable. So I think that that's my goal of behavior breakthrough. And that's always been my approach with caregiver training is to start with those prerequisite skills like descriptive praise and can you state it positively and what do you attend to versus what you don't and being able to discriminate like your gym situation. What's an issue and what's a non-issue? What's a what is actual reinforcement and what's a bribe and discriminate like those to me are necessary foundational prerequisite skills that have to be in place before any behavioral interventions are delivered to really drive that adherence piece of it.
Check out the karmakollection.com for stylish ABA-inspired apparel that spreads the message of behavior science with every wear. Free shipping on orders over $120. TheKarmaKollection.com